Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into Talk It Out with Pascal.
In this episode, we are delving into the complicated world of love and how the media affects our perspective about it.
If you want an insightful and meaningful conversation about love, this is the perfect episode for you.
Hello everyone, this is Janna Isidoro
And Tiffany Dionisio, your podcast host for today's episode.
Love has always been relevant. It has always been the talk of the town. We consume lots of content about love through songs, movies, series, novels, and many more. Filipinos are basically drunk in love. So how exactly does the media affect our perception about love? Well, first of all, tips. Before we dive deeper into what love is, how would you define love?
For me, love is embodiment of intimacy, passion, and commitment. It can vary in intensity and may even change over time. Ikaw ba, Janna? How do you perceive love?
For me, I believe that you're supposed to feel at peace and comfortable in love. It's like there's this feeling that you can be your true self because they'll accept you no matter what. To the point that you don't even need to worry if they'll find you weird or not. That's why for me, platonic love is the best love talaga.
I think so too. In my opinion, platonic love is the purest form of love. Unlike romantic relationships, there are no sexual desires involved. It's the ideal kind of love that I aim for.
Yes, totoo lang. Pero alam mo, I think many people believe that love is simply a moment of chance waiting for them to be experienced or discovered. That love is something that you have to be lucky enough to experience. But is it really like that, or has the media distorted our perception of love? Ikaw, ano bang thoughts mo?
As someone who's always on social media, para sa akin, the media plays a big part in how we view love. Because of how the media portrays love, we often get the wrong ideas.
True.
Katulad na lang when I was younger, I used to think love was supposed to be something that you fight for at all costs and never give up on. While this certainly gives people the courage to fight for their loved ones, it's not a realistic portrayal of love. I know, maganda siya tignan tsaka pakinggan, but it sets unrealistic expectations kasi. Let's say, for instance, the person you're in a relationship with cheats on you. But you think kasi na siya ning dawan mo, so when he asks you for forgiveness, pinapatag mo lang siya and then you keep the relationship going. Kasi you think that's how things are supposed to be. But love is supposed to have a genuine connection. You should never have to plot ways to make someone love you.
True. I think pwede ko ding isingit yung Prince Charming or True Love sa all Disney movies. Like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella. Those stories, kasi siya parang there is no basis or foundation in their love. Like, they just met, got married, at siguro may onting achuchuchu, and then they lived happily ever after. Parang, it leads to people thinking na ganun-ganun na lang kapag in love ka. Parang, ang simple lang. But in reality, it is complicated talaga. Love is complicated talaga.
Diba? Kasi people end up getting the misconception about love. Anyway, next question. Do you think love is something that exists independently and is waiting for us to fall into? Or does it require our participation and effort? What do you think, Janna?
I think the media has done a great job in making us believe that love is just out there, waiting for us to stumble upon and feel the overwhelming sensation of falling in love. Like, you often hear phrases such as true love is for those who wait, or like love will find you at the right time. And this often makes us think that we should just stay put and make ourselves as lovable as possible instead of actually learning how to love.
Right, kasi diba, when we like someone or we meet someone, we want to look presentable all the time. We do a lot of things such as buying new clothes, getting our hair done, a lot of routines, or sometimes change your personality or i-alter mo.
True.
I know people might disagree with this one na sabihin naman nila, still, self-love pa rin naman siya. But self-love ba talaga siya if babaguhin natin yung sarili lang para lang mahalin tayo ng ibang tao?
Yeah, it's like We're always so focused on ourselves and wanting to be loved that we often forget that love is the time and effort that we put into something. It requires a lot of knowledge, care, and patience. We're not the main character in a movie that's supposed to just wait for the love interest to appear because the pieces won't always fit perfectly like in the movies. You really need to make an effort for it to work.
And you know what? This overemphasis on love is encouraged by the media that tells stories, sings songs, write books about how love conquers all, and how ultimately fulfilling it is, and how it brings a never-ending wealth of happiness. Romantic movies make you think relationships are supposed to be amazing, passionate, and thrilling all the time. I mean, siguro, sure, mostly ng tao alam na hindi talaga ganito yung true love. But that doesn't mean those tantalizing images don't affect people's hopes for romance, which in turn magkakos lang naman din ng disappointment. People should be able to tell the difference between over-romanticized love and real love. This truth, hard pill to swallow siya kasi the way the media portrays love makes it way more desirable than what is experienced in reality.
Yeah, I think ayan din yung reason kung bakit a lot of teenagers nowadays want to experience romance. I mean, romance is literally everywhere and it makes you think that you're missing out on a lot of things. And it gives you the impression that love is supposed to be like this and love is like that and that. And even if you are in a perfectly healthy relationship, you can still get insecure because of the things that you see on social media. To be honest, I don't really think that we want to fall in love. We just want the idea of romance, the romanticized version of love.
Yes, kasi because as people consume the media's view of love, it's becoming more common for relationships and marriages to be primarily based on a desire for happiness and personal fulfillment. But you know, there's more to love than just excitement. There's also a God-given purpose.
I mean, speaking of love, there are a lot of terms that we usually associate with romance, like love at first sight, true love, or soulmates. Do you think these things are applicable in real life, or is it just something that the media created to romanticize romance?
Para sa akin, I don't think love at first sight is possible kasi hindi na talaga siya possible kasi you know, physical attraction and spark that occurred from first glance might be the way that many relationships begin, but it's totally not the same as real love.
Yeah, personally, I believe people who feel that they have fallen in love at first sight could be experiencing lust or a desire or pull the other person due to this initial attraction. But it's still much different than love seen in an unestablished relationship. I think it's often used as a plot in novels or dramas. And siguro, parang kapag tinitingnan natin siya, parang posible. Pero real love requires a lot more than physical attraction.
True, kasi love is supposed to be built on being on the same page to trust, understanding, and commitment. This kind of strong connection between two people can only be built over time and through experiences in life. About ano naman tayo, soulmates and true love. I think, ano naman siya, applicable in real life. Parang, hindi lang siya katulad ng mga nakikita natin sa media.
Oh, paano hindi magkatulad?
Unlike love at first sight, ang true love kasi meron siyang basis eh. When people meet, they start to feel comfortable in each other's presence. Then they work together to build the relationship. So, basically, yung true love and soulmates, hindi siya found lang or nakikita lang. Ginagawa siya ng effort. Binibigyan ng effort at time.
Kasi, diba, parang it feels nice. It feels nice to know that someone out there in this world is meant for you. And you just have to wait for the right time and the right place to meet that person. Kaya siguro parang marami ring naniniwala dito.
You know, you can have tons of soulmates in different forms and aspects.
Wow.
Yung soulmates, hindi lang siya applicable in a romantic way. You guys can be platonic soulmates, ganon. But kidding aside, I've observed that the movies and TV often misrepresent how healthy relationships ought to unfold. We see men and women exhibiting terrible behaviors but The characters on the receiving end most often react as though these actions were reasonable and acceptable,
Yun din.
giving the viewing audience the wrong message about how to go about their own relationships. Ito. Here's an example. When a relative stranger finds out where the other person lives or works and then drops off presents or shows up unexpectedly, it's presented as a romantic gesture, pero in real life, ano talaga siya? Predatory behavior. The hunter pursuing their prey. And sign na rin to na pwede maging abusive yung relationship.
Right. They make it seem like creepy behaviors are tolerable or normal. Pati na rin yung boundary violations. Like, when we observe people violating someone's boundaries on the big or small screen, we're told at the same time that, in fact, these actions are romantic. One good example of this is not taking no for an answer. In the movies or on TV, ignoring a no is seen as a romantic sign of devotion. Pero in real life, when we tell someone to leave us alone and they don't respect our wishes, they're violating our boundaries and letting us know that they likely never take no for an answer.
The bottom line is, don't believe what you see portrayed on the big or small screen. When people you are, might be, or have been romantic with are behaving badly toward you, take it seriously, take care of yourself, and perhaps you'll even need to walk away.
Right, kasi hindi lahat ng nakikita natin, naririnig or nababasa ay totoo. Ganun na din when it comes to love. Remember, a toxic relationship occurs when one or both people are prioritizing love over the three core components of a healthy relationship: respect, trust, and affection.
Huwag natin gawing basis yung mga nakikita natin sa social media sa flow ng relationship natin. I know this might sound crazy para sa ibang tao, but the desire to be loved should not be the reason to stay in a relationship. And that's because it can cloud our judgment in other very important areas.
True.
If you prioritize love if you prioritize the love you get out of a relationship over the respect you're given, you'll tolerate being treated like a doormat. If you prioritize love over trust in the relationship, you'll tolerate lying and cheating. If you prioritize love over affection in the relationship, you'll tolerate a cold and distant existence in the relationship.
Diba? Kaya nga, I think kailangan talaga natin i-filter yung mga nakakonsume natin from the media. Because it can affect the way we perceive a lot of things, hindi lang sa love. We are what we consume nga, sabi nila. So we should be careful and use social media wisely. You've reached the end of another episode of the Talk It Out with Pascal podcast. Once again, we are your hosts, Janna Isidoro
and Tiffany Dionisio. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the topic love perception. If you're keen to see more interesting topics, you may visit our podcast, Talk It Out with Pascal.